Hey guys, so we got the vp44 head over here on the seat and guide machine. I'm doing some stuff to it. We are doing threaded frost freeze plugs. I do have a video on doing this, but I'll do it in time lapse. So I'm just pulling those out. Then I gotta flip it over. Actually, I'll flip it over here while I'm talking to you guys right now and just show you what I'm gonna be doing. So the next thing I'm gonna be doing is if you look at this edge right here, so this head was supposed to be a ported and polished head. They did do a little tiny bit of work on the exhaust, just like this far in, not very much. I don't know, it would make a difference, I would guess, a little bit, maybe part match. So what I'm gonna do, and then I guess they might have smoothed some of this out a little bit, I don't know, it's hard to tell because this is usually a machine surface in here. So, but anyways, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this. After they put the seats in, they didn't clean this edge up. Like you can see where the screwdriver catches on all of them. So you will get a restriction from that, because basically the air comes down into the port and then it swirls when it hits that and then goes in. Some of the air, not all of it, obviously. So we're gonna clean that up a little bit, do just a tiny little bit of bowl work. I only allotted 2 hours of time to go through, so the 2 hours, it doesn't take very long to knock up 2 hours. Very, very quick to doing this stuff. So anyways, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw you guys into time lapse now. I'll do those frost plugs. We will, sorry for the noise during the day. I'll port this out a little bit. This will be with a burr on a die grinder. And then we will top the guides off, put guides in it, and then I'll come back to you guys. I might come back actually as I'm doing the one, just pouring one of them out. I'll probably do that. And yeah, anyways, so there'll be a couple spots in the video. So if you watch the whole video, you'll see a couple little tidbits in between the time lapses. All right, catch you in a bit. All right, guys, just showing here, basically just going into that edge with the carbide bit or burr bit, depending on what you want to call it. Just taking that edge out, and the edge is it's a sharp edge, so it's really easy to take off of there because it's not a big edge. I'm going to do more porting, but I like to knock those down before you get into doing the porting, because then it's kind of out of your way. So you can just use this carbide bit has it's just as rounded on the end, so it's really easy to get in there and knock that off. So basically I just went through, I just wanted to show you guys kind of in real time what I'm doing. And we always do that when we put seats in, we always knock that edge down. So I'm not really sure why somebody would leave it there. Just, I don't know, kind of looks sloppy when you leave it like that. So anyways, that's what it takes to do that. And then you can see I'm just taking a couple pictures for the old gram, which I don't think I actually haven't posted yet, but actually I guess I could post, I guess I could put those pictures into, might give you guys a little bit better view of what I'm talking about when I'm, it's hard to see in the video because it's so far away, but I'll see about posting them in here. All right, guys, just getting in here and actually doing a little bit of porting. So just put it in fast time there, just so you guys don't have to watch everything there. Guys, so I have done video on this before, talking about thread and frost plugs, freeze plugs, core plugs, expansion plugs, whatever you want to call them, for 24 valve heads. Now, this doesn't usually happen on a lower horsepower engine. And there is lots of people say, you know, it's from excess RPM, block twist, or head twist in this case. They make some pop out. I don't know. I've run lots of them. High horsepower that still have them, don't have a problem. Some pop out. I've had them pop out factory. So I personally like doing them on heads, but it does add a little bit to the bill. when you're doing it, so is what it is. So, and it's actually funny on this head was rebuilt by another shop. I'm not sure when, at some point. It has guide liners and stuff in it. And there was actually 2 freeze plugs down inside the head, which I thought was kind of funny. So I took them all out and I had 2 extra. So if you are doing it, make sure you take the freeze plugs out. The ones that if you drop any in there. So you want to do this by hand. What I recommend doing, now obviously my table's not perfectly flat, and that's just gets a little bit better vantage point for you guys because it's not flat, right? So basically what we're going to do, this is the tap that I usually use, but I usually use it in this collet in the mill. But obviously not everybody has a mill, so we're going to do it by hand. This is the tap that I bought. The plugs that you're going to use are 24 mil by 1.5, then you don't have to drill a hole. So ratchet, I use a 12-point socket, goes on top. Doesn't fit perfect, but it fits relatively well. You do want to put a little bit of oil of some sort. This happens to be transmission fluid. I usually just use whatever's handy, to be totally honest. Put it in there. Now, you do want to try to get it as straight. Now, these do have a little bit of a taper on them, so they're not too bad. And it literally is like, being that it's cast, it's not really too bad. You know, just, you get in there a little ways, you want to stop. If you guys have never tapped anything before. And basically all that does is break a chip if it has a big chip on it, but cast is really good at chipping itself, so it's not too bad. Basically just go to that point. Basically what I do is on the tap, because you could go right through if you want, but you want to be careful because these are straight. There's not a lot of taper to them. So, because a national pipe thread, NPT, is actually tapered, where these are actually straight. So you want to be careful with that. You want to make sure you put some sort of locking compound, whether it be Loctite or retaining compound, something like that, or a good sealant. So basically it's that easy. It's not hard to do. You can see the hole there, one that I just did, threaded. Pretty simple to do. Now these ones you could go all the way through, screw shit up. You don't want to go all the way through, my opinion. These ones you can't, because you actually hit the exhaust runners right there, so you can't go all the way through. So just add to the back of this video, just working on the cylinder head for that vp44. The boys got the block knocked out for me, so we checked the main clearance. Everything is good there. It's right middle of spec for the main bores. Cam bore is good. We will put a new cam bearing in there, and then new, the new oil plugs. We do that, the galleries, because the galleries all plug up on these things all the time. Bored and honed 20 over. You guys can see. Got our bored and honed 20 over. Hard to see in there. Shiny. A little bit dark in here. But anyways, so we got her all done. We surfaced it off. We pretty much surfaced most blocks. 99% of them get surfaced. But anyways, the crankshaft, we had to send the crankshaft out to get ground, and then it's going to go to get balanced. The pistons should be here probably early next week. They're going to get coated. So probably the head will be done before that. So it'll be probably another video on the cylinder head. And then when the rest of the parts show up for this to put back together, then I'll do an assembly video. I don't think I'm going to get super in depth in the assembly, but I'll do a little bit of tidbit here and there. But I'm not going to go super in depth on it, because I already did the 12 valve rebuild series, and this is basically the same idea. We did go 6 thou piston to wall clearance, so just a touch above spec. The guy runs it hot, he tows heavy with it, so just not super crazy. 6 isn't crazy by any stretch, but just a little bit bigger on it. And yeah, so when everything shows up, we will, you guys will see more of the block, putting the assembling. And like I said, it's basically the same as doing a 12 valve. So just different pistons. So that'll end this video off for you guys that are still watching. Thanks for watching. and see you later.